Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to today's Game & Watch review, which is Safe Buster, the 54th Game & Watch ever released in January of 1988. And it is once again a multi-screen Game & Watch with a nice white sticker there and red exterior. Looks really nice, and if we open it up here, this is what the game looks like. It's going to be very reminiscent of a few things that we've looked at so far, namely Lifeboats, and games like Oil Panic, which we saw on Game & Watch Gallery 1, as you have to play as a security guard at the bottom who stops bombs which are being dropped from that guy at the top from blowing up the safe, and then allowing, obviously, the criminal to get in there. And the reason it's going to seem like some of those other games is because you have to catch these bombs, but then not only catch them, deposit them into either the left or right side of the screen to prevent them from, overflowing in whatever container it is you're using. It doesn't seem like a very, smart container to be catching them in. But I guess that's what he had available, and it's a good thing that, the bombs don't blow up when they hit the container. But if they hit that safe, that door is going flying. So you can dump the bombs down into the left. And as you can see, we're already messing up because there's some timing that you need to get down. Dumping the bombs is unfortunately not like an instantaneous thing. You kind of gotta get them, and then you have to plan it so that, you have enough time to dump them. But sometimes you might not be able to dump every single bomb that you're holding. Like to see right there, so maybe I can dump like one, and then as you can see, it's not like an instantaneous thing. The ball has to like roll out of the container as well, so it gets a little bit tricky there. If you dump them to the right, it's like that's it, you've dumped them and they're gone. If you dump them to the left, there's actually a torch that you can try to lift up to the upper left side of the screen, and if you do that, you will blow up the bomb supply of the criminal up there, and I think receive some bonus points. So fortunately though, you gotta keep doing it, otherwise it comes back down. Honestly, it's a lot of trouble. More trouble than it's probably worth. I don't think you get like that many points, maybe like 20. So it's probably best, just dump them on whatever side makes the most sense. So this is definitely a pretty traditional Game & Watch. For one that came out pretty late, it's some pretty, basic gameplay that we've seen from Game & Watches, like dating all the way back to some of the earliest ones. One thing you might also have noticed is that when you turn on some of the later Game & Watches, when we turned on the earlier ones, a typical thing that would happen before you set the time is that all of the cells on the screen would be shown. Meanwhile, with this Game & Watch, which is again, in one of the later 10 or so, and so, oh darn, so once it gets past you, because your container is so tall, it's not like you can kind of just correct and go over there. It's like, it's just too late. But yeah, when you're setting the time, it doesn't show all of the cells anymore. It just, kind of shows a very blank, generic screen while you're setting the time. So I wonder why they made that change. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, definitely something I noticed there. But yes, so this is definitely a more basic game. But don't worry, the last two Game & Watch reviews, there's, if you can believe it or not, only two more after this. You're going to want to hold on to your butt for those, because they are going to be some pretty cool games. One that we've already kind of looked at, but the way that we look at it coming up is going to be very different, and I think super cool. All throughout this month, I've been introducing Game & Watches and types of Game & Watches that I don't think people have ever even heard of, so perhaps this one will kind of surprise you. And then, of course, the other game that we still haven't looked at is a very cool game, and one of my all-time favorite Game & Watches, so I'm really excited to introduce that one. But here we go. See, we got 3 bombs now, so of course trying to catch any more while you still have a full container of 3 isn't going to be any good. But sometimes when you dump them, you just don't have enough time to get rid of all of them. So what Game B changes is that it adds a lid to the disposal on the left that only opens every once in a while, or actually, I think it's open for the majority of the time, but it closes sometimes, so you kind of got to be careful. And just like that, we missed. And that's it. The safe has been destroyed. I'm guessing, the criminal gets everything that's in it. And he goes and takes all the money. I love the kind of jingles that they started trying to introduce into Game & Watches. So, yeah, Game B, as you can see, there's now that lid over there on the left. It's open right now, but that should close every once in a while and make things a little bit trickier. See, it's closed, now you can't dump anything in, but now you can. But wow, come on, and I couldn't even get back to that. So the security guard's gonna be fired, the blink of an eye at this rate. I don't think I got, one. But yeah, so otherwise, as we've seen all throughout Game & Watch month, Game B typically adds, a more higher level of difficulty to the game. So that's their idea of more difficulty, I guess, is adding a lid to that. The bombs might also fall a little bit faster. This is actually the last game we're going to look at, though, which has the game A and the game B. So, you know, enjoy that game B while you can, I suppose. I do love it, though. It's so funny that even as Nintendo Game & Watches went on, you know, they still kept to their roots sometimes, too. It is funny, though, like how this Game & Watch reminds me so much of other ones, like Oil Panic again and Lifeboat. They definitely did kind of start recycling some of the mechanics as they went on. Which, I mean, there's only so much you can do with an LCD screen, but the last two Game & Watches we're going to look at definitely are, like, more than just your typical LCD game. Yeah, I gotta get there before it gets just a little too low. And you see, is that lid gonna mess me up? The thing is, though, if you go to the right, like, you never have to worry about the lid. The only reason you go to the left is because you want to get that torch up there, which, I don't know how you do it, man. It never goes as high as you want it to. Unless you, like, literally were dumping a bomb in every 3 seconds. Or, like, you know, faster than that. I'm not sure how they expect you to ever lift that torch up to the top. Alright, one more miss. See how high we can go. Honestly, this hasn't been a very high-scoring Game & Watch. Interesting that you only get points for catching the bombs and not for dumping them. You would think, like, maybe it would be both. Let's see, can we get that torch up there? But see, I don't get it. I'm dumping bombs into this side on the left as fast as I can, and the torch is just going nowhere. Oh! It's the worst because, you know, it's not... In so many other Game & Watches, you really have until, like, that last second to catch it. But here, once that bomb passes you, it's like, why does it even, you know, let you think that maybe you can go get it? It's just teasing you. It should just instantly make you lose. It's only giving you false hope. But that is Safe Buster. Again, you know, despite being made fairly late, being the 54th Game & Watch ever made, it definitely employs some of those early, you know, game mechanics that we became really familiar with in some of the earlier Game & Watches. So hope you enjoyed that, and hope you're looking forward to the final 2 Game & Watches of my 30 days of Game & Watch. Hope you enjoyed that, and hope to see you next time for more. So thanks, and hope to see you then.